guys, so what we're doing over the next 4 weeks, this is our Pilates flow class, but I'm giving it the emphasis on fascial release. So I know, Megan, you obviously have an amazing background with fascia. I think, Zelda, you did the Slings in Motion course. We did that together. And then everybody else, I'm sure you've been hearing lots and lots about fascia and how we can sort of train plasticity into it and elasticity. So it's the stretching, but also the strengthening. And then there are different fascial lines that are kind of recognized in the body. So it's not a physical line that you can see and kind of dissect. We don't separate them out. But basically, it's the way that our body moves, and it's the way that forces transmit through the body and how we kind of like move our body in different patterns. So that's kind of the breakdown that we're going to do over the series. And what I thought we would do today is start off with almost the most complex line, which is called the spiral line. And basically, it goes on the front of the body and the back of the body, but it wraps all the way around, starting from the neck, it crosses over, comes around the rhomboids, around the front here by serratus to oblique, and then crosses over, comes down the side of the leg, then goes around under the foot, almost like the stirrups in a horse's saddle, if you put your feet in there, and then it comes back up and up the back of the leg, up the spine again, crosses over, and then it does that whole sort of twisting and rotation again. So anytime that we're doing twisting or rotational movements, it is linking into that spiral line as well. And it is also one of the areas where people can get injured fairly easily, I think. You know, most people, if they put their back out, they always say it's kind of like they did this little twist and then a lean forward, or a twist and lean back to get something off the back seat of the car. And sometimes that's where we can cause injuries. So I really like working with this line and all of the rotations that we do. So guys, does everybody have one of these sort of spiky massage balls or a tennis ball that you can use as a prop today? All right, so please just have that ready. We're going to be using that in our session. And I'm going to wait a little while before I take my poofy jacket off. There we go. All right, so you don't need any other props today besides your mat, the spiky ball, and then of course, if you need any kind of padding for knees when we're kneeling, or a little cushion for underneath your head, you can have that ready for yourself as well. Okay, so I think we're ready to start our class. I'm just going to mute the background noise. All right, there we go. So guys, please come up into a standing position to start off with. And you're going to start a little bit towards the back end of your mat. And you're going to take your spiky ball and place it just on the mat in front of your feet. Stand with your feet slightly separated. Double check that your big toes are in line with each other. And then lift your gaze towards the horizon. Roll your shoulders back and around a few times. And then just let your arms and your shoulders settle. And take a moment as you stand here to close your eyes. And just allow yourself to slow down. Starting to feel your body standing on your right and your left feet. Finding the connection and that sensation of lengthening up through the crown of your head.
She's frozen.
Just taking a moment to notice each inhale and each exhale as it travels into your body. And then, as you're ready, start to blink your eyes open. Bring yourself back into your space. And we're going to start with a little bit of a roll down. So we're going to inhale to lengthen up through the spine. On your breath, just look towards your feet And let your upper back curl forward. We're not going to go all the way down. Just keep curling through your spine until you have your hands hanging just in front of your knees and you can feel a C curve in the spine. And just observe the tension or the stretch on your body. Notice where it is. Take another breath in. And then exhale and continue folding forward. So this time, you're folding over from the crease of the hip. And just let your body hang there for a moment. Maybe your hands are touching the floor or not. And notice where the stretch has moved to. And we're going to take another breath in. And on your exhale, start unraveling through the spine. Use the abdominals, connecting into the heels of the feet, rolling all the way up. And then just focus your gaze. Roll your shoulders back and around again, and then stay as you are. And you're going to bring your left hand up in front of you, thumb up as if you are hitchhiking, and then open your arm to the left, and let yourself go all the way around. You can use your shoulders, your spine, your hips, your knees. How far back can you go? Make a little note of where your thumb is in space. And then bring yourself all the way back around and let that left hand come down. Now do the same thing on the right hand. Bringing your right thumb up. Start to open your arm all the way around. So you're checking that open twist. Make a little mental note of where your thumb is. Where's the marker? And then coming all the way back around and letting the hand come down. Now, placing it on top of the ball, and it is a light massage. So it's almost like you're tickling the bottom of your foot. And by the way, if you're having trouble balancing, put your hand on the wall or hold on to a chair if you need, and just go all over the foot. So effectively, we're starting to work on the very, very first layer of fascia that's directly underneath the skin here. And now keep your foot floppy and start to apply deeper pressure. So still with the floppy foot going all over that massage ball. And so now you're getting into those intrinsic muscles of the feet, keeping the foot nice and floppy. And keep that firm pressure and stiffen your foot now. So you're making your foot quite rigid. And with that firm pressure now, we're starting to work into the connective tissue, the fascia, around those intrinsic muscles. We've got so many ligaments and muscles in the feet. Very, very complex. And then just release it. We're not going to do the other side right away. Just stand there for a moment. Close your eyes. And just become aware of how your right foot feels, how the right side of your body feels now that you've started to work around that plantar fascia. And then opening your eyes, blinking gently. And now you're going to do the left side. So again, use the wall or a chair for balance if you need. And it's light on the foot. And just getting all around the foot, from the heels all the way up to the balls of the feet, maybe onto the toes, inside arch, outside arch. And then floppy foot and do some deeper pressure. Getting a little bit deeper into the muscles of the foot. And maybe you'll notice a specific area of your foot that needs a little bit of extra attention. And then, still with the deep pressure, stiffen up the foot, make it a little bit more rigid. So the plantar fascia is also related to the back line of the body, the superficial back line of fascia. But don't forget that there's that stirrup that goes underneath that's related to our spinal line. So it's kind of getting both lines here. And then Release. You can just leave the ball there for a second and then stand evenly on your feet. Close your eyes. And once again, just take a moment to observe. What's happening on that left side? How does your left foot feel? And when you're ready, blink your eyes open. We're going to do another roll down and just observe any difference. On your breath, look down towards your toes, peeling forward through the spine. Remember that we're going to stop with our hands just in line with our knees. And then pause there for a moment. Notice if there has been any shift or release on the back line of the body around the spine. And then on your next breath, fold over from the crease of the hips, coming all the way down. And now take a moment to notice if there's been any shift or change around the back line of the body at the hamstrings or the calf level. Take a little breath in. Exhale, unravel, coming all the way back up. Using your abdominals as you roll up. And then take a moment to focus your gaze and roll the shoulders back and around. And then we're going to do our little spiral test. Bring your left thumb up. And then start to open your arm to the side. And let yourself spiral. Just observe if there's any change. And release. Come all the way to the front. Right thumb comes up and now open. And little spiral to the other side. Observe any difference on your body. And release, come to the front. And let your arm settle down. So placing your hands just onto the shelf of your hip. You're going to shift your body weight onto the right leg. And just pick up the left heel. Stay there for a moment. Focus your gaze. Connect your center. And see if you can pick up your left leg and just stand there and balance. Notice that there's a constant sort of readjustment and fine-tuning from the foot and the ankle, and it's giving us all kinds of feedback of how we can balance in space on one leg. Keep breathing, focus your gaze, and then place that left foot down, and then shifting over to the left side, and picking up the right heel. You're going to lift that foot up. And once again, just checking out how your balance feels on this side. And oftentimes, based on if you're right-handed or left-handed, maybe any movement patterns that you have, maybe any injuries that you've had in the past, you might notice one side is more stable than the other. And then placing right foot down. Let your arms relax. We're going to do another roll down here. Bend your knees slightly. And then nod your chin. And just allow yourself to come all the way over so that you can pick up the ball in your right hand, resting your left elbow on your left leg so you're not having to strain here. And then take the ball and start to massage around the front of the ankle. So you guys that have done my fascial release classes before, you've heard me talk about this, that there's quite a thick band of connective tissue on the front of the ankle here. And it goes down the side of the ankle, so go down the side, come up the shin a little bit, to the middle of the ankle and down the inside. And this band of connective tissue is called the retinaculum. And basically it holds our tibialis muscles, those shin muscles at the front, close to the bone. And release, and then just switch over to the other side. Make sure that you're supporting yourself on your right leg, and then let's do the left ankle. So you've also heard me say this before, that if you know what a ballerina's shoes look like, where they lace them up across the front and wrap them around the ankle, that's actually pretty much the same shape that this connective tissue takes. So the ballerinas were very smart in offering support and a connection into the fascia around the ankle to offer themselves stability. And then you can release, you can put the ball down to the side and then lean over to place your fingertips to the ground and just fold over. Just hang here for a second. Give your head a little shake. No, 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 no. And then nod your chin. Yes, 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 yes. Let your head hang heavy. And then slowly roll up into standing. Abdominal muscles are connecting again. Coming all the way up. Focus your gaze. Roll your shoulders back and around. And then just allow yourself to pause here for a moment. Hands go back onto the shelf of your hip. Bring your body weight onto your right leg. Lift up the left heel, and then when you're ready, pick up your left leg. And just notice if there is any change in your sense of balance, your change in stability, or perhaps even just a connection into your foot and your ankle now that we have stimulated that retinaculum at the front of the ankle. And on your next breath, releasing the foot down, and then shifting onto the left leg, start to float the right leg up, and once again bringing awareness down into the foot, the ankle, a sense of awareness of your body in space. Keep focusing your gaze and make sure you're breathing. Bringing your foot all the way back down. Line up your toes, relax your arms. We're going to do one more roll down. On your breath, look down towards your feet and just let yourself come all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Bend your knees enough. You can put your fingertips to the ground. Walk yourself all the way forward and coming onto all fours. So just take a moment to get your wrists in a happy place. Get your knees more or less underneath your pelvis as we get ready for a cat stretch. So start by tucking the tail under and feeling that rippling action through the spine as you round your spine upwards. And then start to lengthen the tail out behind you. And you can either come to neutral or you can come to a little bit of an extension if your back feels ready for it. And again, using your breath to connect into the movements. And again, start lengthening through the spine, tailbone reaches back, shoulders away from the ears. You're creating space for yourself to move. And I quite like to close my eyes here as well, because it really gives you a beautiful sense of your body traveling through space, so that it's not necessarily about the shapes that you create at the end of it. It's more about what's happening in between and finding that connection to your breath. So as you do this cat stretch, just keep moving gently at your own pace. This is also connecting into the superficial front line and the superficial back line of the body. But remember that our spiral line comes across the sacrum and travels all the way up along the erector spine as well. So we are coming into that spiral line with this movement. So round your spine up towards the sky and then stay here for a moment in cat stretch. Let's all meet here. And then push away from your hands a little bit so there's very little pressure on the wrists. Stay in a cat stretch and let's just add a gentle trampolining movement. And you can keep it small, you can keep it big. Maybe you need to sit further back or maybe you need to come a little higher up. But what we want to find here is a release across the sacrum and the lumbar spine. But we've got quite a bit of dense connective tissue there as well, because it's one of the big weight loading areas for us. 2 more, 1 more, And come all the way forward. Lengthen your spine, reaching into a neutral position right here. Now you're going to balance on your left hand and just reach the right arm out to the side. And then coming into a thread the needle. So first choice is that you rest on your forearm. Next choice is that you come all the way down so that your head is resting. Give yourself a prop if you need. And then third choice today would be to take your hand gently behind your back. And again, if you're comfortable to close your eyes, feel free to do so. If you feel that you're losing balance, then just open your eyes. And just observing your breath. And it's wonderful to notice how your breath expands you from the inside out. And the simple act of breathing starts to help us release, to hydrate our fascia. And coming into this very simple passive twist of the spine is starting to move into our spiral line. Taking one more breath in and out. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them. And you're going to place your left hand firmly to the ground and then press up. Reach your right arm out to the side and then bend your elbows so that you're saluting your right fingertips to your temple. And then we're going to bring the right elbow down as if you're going to touch the elbows together. Maybe they touch, maybe not. And then you're going to open the right elbow and see if you can almost bring it up towards the sky a little bit. And again, touching elbows towards each other. And opening your elbow and just let your heart follow the movement. So you're allowing your rib cage and your spine to become involved in this movement. Let's take two more. And let's take one more. Come back to a centered position and placing the right hand down. Make any adjustments you need. Reaching the left arm out to the side. And then coming into thread the needle. Option 1 on the forearm. Option 2, coming all the way down to place your head. And option 3 is to place your hand into your lower back. So at any point, you can choose where you want to settle today. And again, allow yourself to breathe. Taking a moment to pause and observe yourself. How does this side feel in comparison to the first side? And you don't have to change it, you just have to be aware. Taking gentle, full breaths in and out. And then on your next breath, bringing your right hand down to the floor, open your eyes if they are closed, pushing into the right hand and bring yourself back, balance, and then bend the left elbow and bring your fingertips to your temple. Left elbow comes towards the right elbow, and then open up and allow your eye line and your heart to follow. And again, rotate. And at any point, if you feel that your wrists are taking strain, feel free to adjust yourself. You can even go onto your forearm to do this movement. And let's just take two more, exploring the movement on this side. One more time. And then just bring yourself back to the center and placing the hands down. From here, tuck your toes under, and you're going to keep a lengthened spine. Start to just push away from your hands And you might feel a little bit of a stretch around the thighs, the quadriceps if you're tight, or you might just go straight into the soles of your feet like I do, and then bringing yourself back. And again, pressing back. So we're getting a little bit of a stretch again around the soles of the feet and coming forward. And let's just take a few more. And release. One more time. Now stay here. Send your hips up and back and keeping your knees super duper bent. See if you can lengthen your arms and lengthen your spine, and then start to pedal the heels down one at a time. So again, depending on where you might be holding tension through the fascia, where you might be a little bit tight, you could feel this up the back of your body or maybe along your spine. And then pressing both heels down. Stay here for a moment as you breathe in. Releasing both knees all the way down. And then releasing the feet back. Now, hold it here for a moment. I'm just going to take my jacket off. So we're going to do a little bit of a hamstring release, because don't forget as well that the hamstrings are also part of the spiral line. So you're going to take your right leg, slide it back, and then just pick up your leg and hold it here. Flexing through the foot, so you're pressing energy out through the heel of the foot. Close your eyes for a moment. Lengthen through your crown, and just see if you can find a connection along the back line of your body. You're also going to feel gluteus maximus maybe, and funny enough, that's actually not part of your back line, that's part of your lateral line. So they tend to work together, allow them to connect, and then open your eyes, point your toe, and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Hold it there. Now put your right hand up on your right knee and then toe heel yourself in so that your foot is in line with your hip. Fingertips to the ground. And let's just start moving a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards. If you need padding under your knees, give yourself padding. If you need more space, then maybe step your front foot a little bit more forward. We're just going to do one more time forward. One more time backwards, and let's stay here. You might need to move your hands a bit. Can you lengthen your spine, bend the right knee a little bit, and lift your right toes? Now, stabilize shoulders and pelvis, and start to turn your toes in and out like a windscreen wiper. And as a result, your knee's gonna go in and out. And this movement is actually coming from the right hip socket. It's internal, external rotation. Can you keep lengthening your spine? So this is a fantastic hamstring glide movement. Two more. One more. Bring your foot back to the center. Take your toes down and then walking your hands forward. You're going to put your right hand on your knee again and then toe heel that foot out again. Put both hands flat down and then send the right leg back. Flex the foot and hold it here. Close your eyes. Energy through your crown, energy through your heel. Open your eyes, point your toe, and bringing that right knee in. Make any adjustments you need to your position. Slide the left leg back. Lift the leg up. Flex your foot. Close your eyes, and just for a moment, connect to the back line of your body, feeling that your shoulders and your pelvis are squared to the ground. Open your eyes, point your toe, and step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Left hand to knee, toe heel in, lining up your left foot with your left hip, and then come up onto the fingertips and start just moving a little bit forwards and backwards, making any adjustments that you need, giving yourself props where you need. So by the way, some people can't really comfortably keep their fingertips on the ground. So that's where those yoga blocks are great. You can put your fingers on a block. Let's do one more time. Let's take it back and stay here. Level the pelvis, lengthen your spine, soften the left knee, lift your left toes, and let's roll the toes in and out, little windscreen wipers. You're trying to keep the pelvis level, just letting that internal, external rotation come from the hip socket. And this is now, hopefully, gliding the 3 hamstrings muscles over each other. So it's promoting that slide and glide that healthy fascia should be doing, right? 2 more. Keep breathing, 1 more. Bring your toes to the center. Bend that front knee, walking yourself forward. Put your left hand on your knee. And we go toe heel out. Give yourself space. Put your hands flat to the ground and then send that left leg back. Reach back, flex the foot, close your eyes. And once again, just feeling your body connect. Open your eyes, point your toe, bring the knee in. And let's just take a moment to sit back in a resting position. However feels best for your knees, your hips, your head, your arms. And we stay here for 5 breaths in and out. Don't rush your breathing. Let yourself slow down here. Simply an opportunity to observe. And on your next breath, start to walk your hands towards your knees. And we're going to come into our mermaid seat. I'm turning to face you. And I want you to put your right shin in front. So I'm doing a little mirror image for you. Left shin is going to be towards the side. Get yourself into a nice comfortable seat. Maybe you need to be up on a cushion. And then just allow yourself to go from side to side for a moment here. So oftentimes the seaweed action that we do, we talk about the lateral lines of the body because it's really getting into the side of the body here. But this is also a wonderful way to start releasing into serratus and into obliques. And don't forget that again is part of our spiral line. Just gentle rhythmic movements. You can go slower than me if you want. You can go smaller than me if you want. And then come over towards the right side. So your right hand is on the floor. And then come all the way up for a moment. Stay here. Make sure that your right hand is anchored. And close your eyes. And just feel your seat. So what's wonderful about this mermaid seat, or in yoga they call it the deer pose, is that you've got internal rotation at one hip and external rotation at the other hip. So this is also wonderful for our spiral lines because it starts to address the lower body, the ITB, the muscles that run down the sides of the legs and the insides of the legs. Now when you're ready, open your eyes. Turn the left hand to your palm is up. And then start moving your hand backwards. You can turn your gaze to look up so that you're opening up across the chest. And then bring that arm down again and bring it towards the right hand that's on the floor. And feel the rounding of your upper back. And again, taking the arm up and back. And then rounding over. So you can choose your breath here. What feels natural for me is to inhale to lift the arm up and back and to exhale to round over. But how does it feel if you reverse the breath? Just explore it for a moment. And again, this is a wonderful way to work into the spiral line, especially as we start to round the spine, because this is going to start to open up the rhomboids. And the rhomboids are part of our spiral line. Let's take one more time. Round over, and I want you to stay here for a moment. Put both hands on the ground. Let me just move the ball so you can see what I'm doing. And then take a moment to square your shoulders above your hands, and again, close your eyes. With your hands and shoulders squared to the floor, what does your spine have to do? And each of us is going to be different and unique. Where's your head? Where is your pelvis? And what is the ripple effect down your legs here? And as we start moving, you may want to open your eyes to see what we're doing. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes closed so you can feel it. We're going to do a little bit of an arch of the spine. And then we're going to push away from our hands and we're going to do a rounding of the spine, a flexing movement. And again, we want to connect our breath to this movement. So just notice what feels most natural for you. And then maybe you just want to reverse it just to see how it feels. So of all the movements that we do, for me, this is one of the most beautiful ones to come into that spiral. From the legs all the way up through the pelvis, the spine, bringing the arms around. And notice as you move that your range changes. Maybe it's getting a little bit easier. Maybe it's becoming a fuller movement. And then just come back to the center and pause. You can open your eyes if they're closed. Bring your right hand to the middle of the mat. Pick up your left hand. Take a peek underneath. And then come all the way up. Hold on to your left ankle. And let's just do a gentle counter stretch. Don't go over. Go up and then over. Pausing here. Take a little breath. And then release and come to the front. Swing your legs around. Taking a moment now, you've got your left shin in the front, right shin to the side, and just let yourself find your seat. And then let's go into our lateral flexion, our seaweed. Stay with your breath. And you can choose how you're breathing, when you're breathing, but fascia loves oxygen. And fascia loves water. So we can help ourselves just by breathing, staying hydrated, and then come over towards the left. So now your left hand is on the floor, and then straighten both your arms. Stay here for a moment, and again, close your eyes. Notice the internal rotation of the hip and the external rotation of the hip. Notice your seat. And then opening your eyes, turn the right hand palm up. Look up at your hand and open up the chest, reach it back. And then curl the spine around and bringing your hand towards the floor. And again, I like to breathe in as I take my arm back. Maybe it feels different for you. And I like to exhale. So again, if you don't have much mobility through the spine, maybe you've got a certain area of your back that's a little bit locked or tight, or some people with scoliosis might find that the movement is quite restricted in some areas. Don't force it, just find your range. And we're going to do one more time where we come down towards the floor, stay here, and then placing both hands to the mat, square your shoulders, close your eyes, and then just notice where your spine settles. Where is your pelvis? What are your legs needing to do? And what is your neck and your head doing? And then again, we start to move into extension and into flexion. And if you'd like to keep your eyes closed, by all means, close your eyes. And just simply observe, how does this side feel in comparison to the first side? Lifting up through the heart. And maybe you want to start with quite a small movement, and then as your body softens and releases, maybe you can take it a little bit bigger. Just observing yourself as you move. And taking just a few more. Allow yourself to come back to the center. If your eyes were closed, maybe you can open them now. Bringing your left hand to the middle of the mat. Pick up your right hand, take a little peek underneath, and then come all the way up. Placing your right hand to your shin, your ankle. Left hand comes up, reach up, and then we lift up and over. Gentle counter stretch. Release back to the center and bringing that arm all the way down. So from here, turn to sit on your bum cheeks. You might want to come a little bit forward on your mats. So you're going to have your knees bent. Take your hands and hold them around the fronts of your knees, lifting up nice and tall, and then on your breath, curl your tail under and start rolling backwards. And just allow yourself to hang here for a moment. So you're getting quite a wonderful stretch around the spine. You're getting a little bit of a stretch between the shoulder blades. And we're going to take a breath in. Exhale. Bend the elbows to pull. And now, hold it here. We're going to lean back a little bit with a straight spine. And now, see if you can lift your heart. Maybe your eye line comes up a little bit. So now you're going into a little bit of an extension of the spine. So now we're engaging those back muscles. And then bring your eye line to the front and relax the chest. We're going to round the spine again, rolling back. And just allow yourself to hang there for a moment, feeling the release between the shoulder blades. And then pull yourself forward. Lift up nice and tall. And now hinge backwards slightly. Hold them onto your knees still. Start to send your breastbone upwards. And maybe your eye line can go up a little bit. And feel the connection into the back muscles. And release. One more time. Round your spine. Roll back. Lovely connection into the lower belly. Feeling the release between the shoulder blades. And again, bend the elbows. Pull forward. Lengthen your spine, lean back, and just one more time going into a high release. So just notice how it feels. You don't need to strain, we're just trying to engage. And come forward. Take both arms, reach them out, and we're going to roll down onto our backs here. Rolling all the way down, using abdominals and releasing the arms down. So you can either wiggle your bottom closer to your feet or bring your feet a little closer to your pelvis. Get yourself nicely settled here. And I just want you to bring your hands a little bit out to the side with your palms up. Bring the knees and the feet together. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh. And start to roll your knees towards the right, looking over the left shoulder. Just notice how far your body wants to go before you feel any kind of tension. Don't hurt yourself. And then on your breath, bring your head back to the center and draw yourself back up. So we're engaging the obliques here. Let's do that again. Rolling your knees over towards the right. Finding a twist and a spiral. And then exhale. Draw yourself back to the center, engaging into the obliques. And now this time, rolling your knees over towards the right. We're going to stay here. Take your left arm, and as you reach that arm a little bit higher up, see if you can find a little bit of an increased tensioning on that left oblique. Still keeping the left shoulder down. Take a breath, exhale, draw your legs back to the center. Now stay here with the legs and bring both knees up in towards the chest. You're just gonna hold onto your knees and onto your shins for a moment. Maybe you wanna slide your hands down a little bit lower. So you're gonna start to find a release around the right deep hip, around the piriformis, those deep gluteals. Staying here for just another 3 breaths in and out. And on your next breath, just uncross your legs and hug both knees in towards you for a second. Put your right foot down to the floor. Cross your left thigh over, taking your arms a little bit out with the palms up, and now roll your knees over towards the left. Just notice how far your body wants to go, keeping the right shoulder down, look over the right shoulder if you want, and exhale, draw back to the center. So it's that wonderful connection of the obliques. Let's do that again. Rolling the legs across. And on your breath, draw back to the center. We're going to do one more time, bringing the knees across, and this time slide the right arm up and away from you. So you're going to feel that it creates a little bit of extra tensioning along the obliques here. Take a breath in, exhale, back to the center. Sliding your arm down. Now, bring the knees up towards you. Take your hands, slide them down towards your ankles, and give yourself that little bit of a stretch around the deep left gluteal. And just take a moment as you breathe here to observe any differences between the two sides. How would you describe the sensations, the feelings on this left side in comparison to the right? Few more breaths in and out, just allowing yourself to soften and release. And then take your time as you uncross. Hug both knees in towards you for a moment. And then I want you to place your feet onto the ground. You're going to have knees bent, feet slightly separated, arms down beside you, palms down and palms up. We're just going to do one pelvic curl here. So on your breath, it's a little bit of a tilt of the hips, and then start rolling up into your bridge position. Stay here for a moment. Make sure that you've got a lovely lower abdominal connection, so you've got a slight posterior tilt. And then how does it feel if you pull your heels gently towards you? Can you feel the hamstrings engaging? And then push your feet slightly away from you. And now maybe you can feel almost that you slide back a little bit, but the quadriceps are engaging. And then do a little pull with the heels. So that's a little bit more related to our spiral line and our back line. And then push with the heels and then relax and roll down through the spine. And if you feel that your hamstrings are cramping, you can bring your legs up, flex the ankles, and let's do a little bit of a stretch and release. So remember, as we're working on all the spiral lines, it's not always just about stretching and releasing. We also want to be able to start to engage, create a little bit of elasticity around the lines as well. And release. Now place your feet down. Hopefully you have your prop, your massage ball around you somewhere. You're going to take that ball, press your pelvis up, and then place the ball around the sacrum. So it's quite low down. It's not in your lower back. It's a little bit lower down around the sacrum. And then just leave it there. You can take your arms to the side for some balance. And then just start to roll the ball around. You can go side to side. Maybe you want to go a little forwards and backwards. Maybe you want to draw little circles. And what this does is it helps to hydrate the fascia. So especially for anybody that maybe has lower back issues or sacroiliac joint issues, this is a wonderful way to actually start drawing some water, some hydration, and bring awareness and strength into the fascia around the lower back and the sacrum. And then just settle here for a moment. How does it feel if you just bring one knee towards your chest? Keep your hand on the floor to help you balance. And then maybe you can bring the other knee up as well. And just rest here. And just breathe for a moment. So it's like you're doing an upside down resting position here. You're not having to work to hold your legs. You're just letting the weight of your body rest down onto the ball. And then I want you to place your feet down onto the ground again. And then lift your pelvis, slide the ball out, and place your pelvis down. And then just close your eyes for a moment and notice how that feels. Can you feel the difference of before we use the ball and after? And then open your eyes again. Bring your hands a little out to the side with your palms up. Wiggle your knees and your feet together. Pick up your right thigh and cross it over the left thigh. And let's try that rolling action. Bring your knees over towards the right. Bringing the left arm up a little bit so you're creating tensioning. And how does that feel now that you have worked into the fascia around the sacrum? Take a breath in. And exhale, draw your legs all the way back, bringing the arm down. Uncross that right leg, try the left side as well. Rolling your knees to the left, sliding the right arm up, and just observing if there's a difference in the rotation of your spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw your legs back, bringing the arm all the way back down. And then hug both knees up in towards your chest. Tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape for a moment. And then relax your head down. Hook your hands behind your thighs, and we're going to do a slow roll up. Start to move your thighs away from you. Straightening your elbows. Curling your head and shoulders forward, and then pour your body weight in towards your feet as you slowly rock forward, feet down, and and bringing your head towards your knees. And then let's reverse it. Start to roll yourself back, letting your elbows straighten, and then slowly tipping back. And allowing your knees to come in towards your chest. And let's do one more time, bringing your thighs away, elbows straight, curling forward, and long, slow breath as you pour your body weight towards your feet. And then just allow yourself to rest here. Separate your feet slightly, resting one arm on top of the other, resting your head down, and just stay in a curved seated position just for a moment. Taking just a few more breaths in and out. And then on your next breath, just unravel your spine and lifting up nice and tall. Let's make our way into a standing position just as we started. So feet slightly separated, big toes in line, arms are nice and easy. And then just bringing your gaze to the front. We're going to do a roll down just as we started. Taking a nice easy breath in. On your breath out, look down towards your toes, rolling forward through the spine, just until your hands are in front of your knees, and then pause. How does it feel? Where is the tension and where is the stretch? And on your next breath, folding over from the crease of your hip. And just allow your hands to come towards the floor, and once again, pause. Notice how it feels on your body in comparison to when we started. And on your breath, rolling up into standing, rooting into your feet, coming all the way up. And just allow your gaze to come towards the horizon. Maybe roll your shoulders around. And let's go into our spiral, bringing the left thumb up. Start to open your arm to the left. And once again, just finding the marker. Has there been a shift? Coming all the way back to the front. And letting your thumb come down. And right arm reaches. And bringing that arm all the way around to the back. Noticing the change. And coming all the way to the front. And releasing down. And just giving your hands and your feet a little bit of a shake. Nicely done.